Have you ever noticed how dreams lose their power the moment you speak them too soon? Think about it. How many brilliant ideas, bold plans, or personal goals have slipped away because you shared them with the wrong person? Every move you make holds energy, and when you reveal it before it's ready, you hand over that energy to doubt, envy, and distraction. Your next step is your secret weapon, your hidden fire. Protect it, nurture it. Let the world see your results, not your intentions. Because silence isn't weakness. It's strategy, it's strength, and it's the path to unstoppable success. Silence carries a kind of power that words can never replicate. When you choose silence, you conserve energy that would otherwise be wasted on unnecessary explanations, debates, or sharing details that don't need to be spoken. Every word you speak carries energy, and once released, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the world, open to interpretation, judgment, or even misuse. Protecting your silence means protecting your vision, your dreams, and the fire inside you that fuels progress. When you stay quiet about your intentions, you give yourself the space to work without interference, distractions, or external pressure. Energy is the currency of growth, and silence is how you save it. Think of how many times you've told someone about your next move and immediately felt drained when they doubted you, criticized you, or casually dismissed your ambition. Their words might not stop you, but they plant seeds of doubt that steal your focus. Silence prevents that theft. It allows you to guard your energy and redirect it fully toward action instead of defending your choices. When you hold back from explaining every step, you maintain a sense of control and inner strength. Silence also magnifies your presence. People wonder what you're working on, where your strength comes from, and what's driving you forward. That curiosity builds a natural aura of respect and mystery around you. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means being intentional with what you reveal and to whom you reveal it. Not everyone deserves access to your mind or your plans. By staying silent, you build resilience, focus sharper, and ensure that the energy within you is preserved for what matters most, turning your goals into reality and letting your actions speak in volumes beyond words. Promises are easy to make, but results are what truly define you. Words can inspire for a moment, but without action, they fade into emptiness. People don't remember what you said you would do. They remember what you actually did. Results create credibility, while promises only create expectations. When you focus on delivering results, you not only silence doubt, but also earn respect that cannot be taken away. A promise may excite, but a result inspires. It becomes proof that you are capable, disciplined, and committed enough to turn intention into reality. Think about how many promises are broken every single day. Commitments left unfulfilled, goals spoken out loud but never acted upon, dreams shared yet abandoned. Every unkept promise diminishes trust, both in the eyes of others and in yourself. But when you dedicate yourself to producing results, you build trust that is unshakable. Results don't need defending, they don't need validation, and they don't need explanation. They speak for themselves in a language everyone understands. Focusing on results also transforms the way you work. Instead of spending time talking about what you will do, you channel that energy into execution. Every small win, every achieved milestone, and every completed goal compounds into undeniable progress. Results inspire belief, not because you said something, but because you showed something. And once you show, people can no longer question your ability. They see the evidence in front of them. Promises might create hope, but results create transformation. They build momentum, inspire others, and strengthen your self-belief in ways no words could ever match. When you live by results instead of promises, you align your life with action, and that action becomes the loudest and most powerful voice you could ever have. One of the hardest truths to accept is that not everyone in your life genuinely wants to see you succeed. Some people clap for you in public but secretly hope you stumble in private. Others smile when you share your goals, yet inside they carry envy, fear, or resentment because your ambition reminds them of what they are not doing themselves. Success has a way of exposing people's true feelings, and when you rise, not everyone rises with you. That's why protecting your dreams and moving in silence becomes so important. You avoid feeding energy to those who quietly root against you. When you understand this reality, you stop expecting universal support. You stop seeking validation from people who may not want the best for you. Instead, you shift your focus toward your own mission, keeping your circle small and your vision protected. It's not about becoming paranoid or distrusting everyone. It's about recognizing that envy is real and that some people prefer you to remain the same because it makes them comfortable. Your growth disrupts their comfort, and your progress challenges their excuses. This is why wisdom lies in discernment. You don't have to announce your every move, nor do you have to prove yourself to anyone. Protecting your plans is about shielding them from negative energy, subtle sabotage, or discouragement disguised as advice. When you rise, the right people will celebrate you genuinely, and the wrong ones will reveal themselves through their silence, indifference, or hidden negativity. Not everyone wants to see you win, and that's okay, because your victory was never meant to be fueled by everyone's approval, but by your own determination, discipline, and the belief that your success does not need permission to exist. Progress that is built in private carries a different kind of strength. When you grow behind the scenes, free from outside noise and opinions, you allow yourself to move with clarity and focus. Each step you take, no matter how small, compounds into momentum that no one else can see but you can feel deeply. That quiet consistency becomes your hidden engine, pushing you forward while others remain distracted by appearances. The power of private progress lies in its ability to protect you from premature judgment while giving you the freedom to make mistakes, learn, and adjust without outside interference. When no one is watching, you are free to experiment, to fail, and to rise again without the weight of expectations. Every repetition, every late-night effort, and every quiet victory adds fuel to your momentum. Over time, this unseen progress becomes impossible to stop because it is built on discipline rather than applause. You don't rely on external validation, so nothing external can slow you down. Your motivation shifts from proving others wrong to proving yourself right, and that kind of drive is unshakable. The beauty of private progress is that when you finally reveal the results, they appear powerful, almost sudden, to the outside world. People will think you achieved success overnight, unaware of the countless silent days you invested behind the curtain. What they see as instant achievement is actually the result of relentless, private momentum that never needed an audience. Building in silence ensures that your energy is preserved, your vision is clear, and your growth is steady. That unstoppable momentum is born not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where dedication outshines every distraction. The moment you reveal your dreams, you invite others to look at them through the lens of their own fears, insecurities, and limitations. While some may genuinely cheer for you, many will silently measure your ambition against their lack of action, and envy begins to grow. People often project their doubts onto what they cannot understand or achieve themselves. Instead of being inspired, some feel threatened because your dream reminds them of what they have neglected to pursue. This hidden envy can show up in subtle comments, discouragement disguised as concern, or even silent resentment when you take steps forward. Dreams are delicate in their early stages. They require protection, nurturing, and focus, just like a seed buried in the soil. If you expose that seed too early, you risk it being trampled by envy before it has the chance to grow strong roots. When you keep your dreams private, you give yourself space to develop them without external interference or negativity. Protecting your vision from envious eyes is not about being secretive. It is about creating an environment where your goals can thrive without being poisoned by comparison or doubt. Envy is a powerful force, and when you share your dreams prematurely, You hand over your energy to those who may unconsciously or consciously hope for your failure. By keeping your aspirations close to your chest, you shield yourself from unnecessary negativity and maintain control over your momentum. When the time is right and your dream has grown strong enough, it will reveal itself through results, not words. And at that point, envy can no longer touch it, because what has already manifested cannot be undone by someone else's hidden resentment. Words are powerful, but without action they lose their weight and meaning. Anyone can speak of big plans, ambitious goals, or future success, but only action has the ability to turn those intentions into reality. When you let your actions tell your story, you no longer need to convince anyone of who you are or what you are capable of. The results you create, the consistency you maintain, and the discipline you show become living proof of your character. Actions silence doubt, quiet criticism, and leave no space for excuses because they present undeniable evidence. People may question your words, but they cannot question what you have built, achieved, or accomplished through consistent effort. Each step you take, each goal you reach, and each milestone you cross adds another chapter to your story, one that doesn't need to be narrated, only witnessed. When your actions align with your vision, they speak louder than any speech you could ever give. They show resilience in the face of difficulty, persistence when quitting would have been easier, and determination when distractions tried to pull you away. Letting your actions tell your story also protects your energy. Instead of wasting time justifying yourself or explaining your plans to others, you redirect that energy into doing the work. You give yourself permission to focus entirely on execution, which ultimately creates the impact that words alone cannot achieve. People remember what you did, not what you said you would do. Your actions become the proof, the inspiration, and the legacy you leave behind. When you let your results speak for you, your story becomes unforgettable, not because you told it, but because you lived it in a way no one could ignore. There is undeniable strength in mystery. When people don't fully know what you are doing, they cannot interfere, criticize, or plant seeds of doubt. Mystery gives you control, allowing you to move quietly and strategically without unnecessary resistance. It creates an aura of strength, making others curious and even cautious because they cannot predict your next move. This quiet unpredictability protects your energy and keeps your focus sharp. On the other hand, when you constantly reveal your plans, you invite distraction, opinions, and unwanted pressure that can easily derail your progress before it even gains momentum. Distraction is the enemy of greatness because it scatters your energy. The more you share, the more you allow external voices to shape your path, pulling you away from the clarity that your vision requires. Mystery, however, acts as a shield. It helps you protect your progress until it is strong enough to stand on its own. It teaches patience, discipline, and restraint, qualities that magnify inner power. A mysterious path forces you to focus inward, to depend on your own conviction, and to trust the quiet work you are doing away from the spotlight. Strength doesn't come from noise, it comes from silence, focus, and determination that doesn't beg for attention. Mystery gives your actions the room to grow without interference, while distraction drains you of the energy needed to stay consistent. When you choose mystery, you choose power. When you choose distraction, you risk losing everything you have worked for. Protecting your vision through mystery ensures that your strength builds quietly, steadily, and without interruption, until the day your results reveal themselves so loudly that no distraction could ever silence them. Every word you speak requires energy, and when you spend too much time talking about what you plan to do, you're releasing energy that should be invested in execution. Talking creates a false sense of accomplishment, as if announcing your intentions is the same as completing them. But the truth is, progress doesn't come from discussions, it comes from discipline. The more you talk, the more energy you drain from the very fire that's meant to push you forward. Talking can give temporary excitement, but it rarely moves you closer to the finish line. Work, on the other hand, is what fuels growth. Every action you take, no matter how small, adds to your momentum and builds the foundation for success. Work channels your energy into something tangible, something measurable, something that compounds over time. Unlike talking, which scatters energy outward, working focuses energy inward, transforming it into results. This is why people who speak less and do more often achieve far more than those who constantly explain their plans. Their energy stays where it matters, on execution. When you work in silence, you conserve your energy and direct it entirely into creating outcomes that speak louder than words ever could. Talking might make others aware of your intentions, but working makes them respect your accomplishments. Talking keeps you in the realm of possibility, while working moves you into the reality of achievement. Every hour spent working adds to your strength, discipline, and self-belief. Talking may feel satisfying in the moment, but working creates fulfillment that lasts. The fuel of success has never been words. It has always been action, consistent effort, and the quiet grind that transforms dreams into undeniable results. When you choose silence, you protect yourself from the noise of unnecessary doubt that can weaken your resolve. The moment you share your plans with others, you open the door to opinions, skepticism, and criticism that may have nothing to do with your ability, but everything to do with their fears. People project their limitations onto you, and what they cannot see possible for themselves, they try to convince you is impossible for you. By staying silent, you shield your vision from these external voices, allowing your confidence to remain intact and your focus undisturbed. Doubt is contagious. A single negative comment, even when spoken casually, can plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. Those seeds, if nurtured by overthinking, can grow into obstacles that never needed to exist. Silence prevents those seeds from ever being planted. It creates a barrier between your ambition and the opinions of others, keeping your goals safe from the subtle sabotage of doubt. When you remain quiet, you avoid wasting energy on defending yourself or convincing others, and you redirect all that energy toward execution and progress. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It allows you to choose carefully who, if anyone, deserves access to your vision. Not every ear is ready to hear your dreams, and not every voice deserves to shape your journey. When you protect your plans with silence, you preserve the purity of your belief in them. You give yourself the gift of clarity, the freedom to build without distraction, and the strength to stand firm in your path. Silence becomes a shield, guarding your faith and determination against the unnecessary doubts that can only slow you down. A vision is like a fragile seed planted in your heart. In its earliest stages, it is delicate, vulnerable, and easily damaged by doubt, criticism, or negativity. If you expose it too soon, you risk allowing outside influences to trample it before it has the strength to grow roots. Guarding your vision means protecting it from unnecessary exposure until it is strong enough to withstand the weight of questions, opinions, and resistance. Just as a seed needs time underground to develop before breaking through the surface, your vision needs time in silence to mature and build resilience. When you share a vision too early, you invite scrutiny that it may not yet be able to survive. People might not understand it, they may underestimate it, or worse, they may try to discourage you from pursuing it. Their lack of belief can weaken your own if you're not firmly rooted. Guarding your vision allows you to nurture it with focus, discipline, and quiet persistence. It gives you the space to refine it, to test it, and to strengthen your faith in it without outside interference. There comes a moment when your vision grows strong enough to reveal itself, not through explanation but through visible progress. At that stage, it no longer requires protection because the foundation has been laid and the momentum cannot be stopped. Guarding your vision isn't about secrecy for the sake of hiding. It's about timing. It's about knowing when to protect, when to build, and when to let the results speak. When you hold your vision close until it's ready, you give it the best chance to grow into something unshakable. Something so strong that no doubt or criticism can break it. Not every decision or step you take in life needs to be broadcast to the world, because some moves require the protection of silence to truly mature. Just like a fruit that cannot ripen overnight, certain ambitions and plans need time, patience, and privacy to develop into something sustainable. If you reveal them too early, you expose them to criticism, comparison, and negativity that can slow down or even derail the process. Silence provides the fertile soil where your ideas can grow without interference, where your actions can compound in strength, and where your confidence can expand without unnecessary doubt from others. Silence is not about secrecy for the sake of hiding, it is about wisdom and timing. Imagine trying to harvest a crop before it's ready. The result would be disappointing no matter how much potential existed. The same is true with your goals. By keeping some moves quiet, you allow them to gain enough maturity to withstand the scrutiny that comes with visibility. You protect them during their most vulnerable stage, when they are still forming, still fragile, and still easily shaken by the weight of other people's opinions. In silence, you give yourself freedom to make mistakes, to experiment, and to adjust without the pressure of being watched. You can refine your strategy, strengthen your skills, and build momentum without having to explain yourself. This quiet space is where true growth happens. By the time your move is revealed, it is no longer a weak intention but a solid reality, one that carries undeniable weight. Some of the most powerful transformations happen behind closed doors, away from the spotlight, where discipline and consistency are the only witnesses. When those moves finally emerge, they appear unshakable, as though they were inevitable all along. Silence gives you that power, the power to let your actions mature into results so undeniable that they need no defense, no explanation, and no validation. Some moves are simply too important to share prematurely. They require the shelter of silence to become unstoppable. There is a unique strength in building quietly, away from the noise and expectations of others. When you choose to build in private, you create a sacred space where your focus cannot be disturbed by opinions, doubts, or distractions. Every hour of practice, every late-night effort, and every small adjustment you make in silence adds up to something powerful that others cannot see. The privacy of your work becomes your shield, protecting your dreams while they are still forming, and allowing them to grow stronger without external interference. This private building stage is where discipline is tested, where resilience is forged, and where your vision becomes sharper. When you keep your efforts private, you free yourself from the unnecessary pressure of proving yourself to others. You are no longer working to be noticed. You are working to be effective. You don't need applause for every step you take. You need consistency, persistence, and belief. Privacy allows you to fail safely, to learn, and to try again without fear of judgment. It gives you the space to refine your craft, sharpen your skills, and prepare for the moment when your work is ready to meet the world. Then comes the shining. When you reveal what you have built in private, it carries a power that cannot be ignored. The results speak louder than words ever could, and the world sees the strength that came from your hidden labor. To others, it may look like overnight success, but you know it was the product of countless unseen hours of commitment. Shining in public is not about seeking validation. It is about letting your results speak for themselves. By building in private and shining in public, you create a rhythm of progress that ensures your energy is protected and your achievements are undeniable. You don't waste energy explaining what you will do. Instead, you put all of it into doing the work. And when the time is right, your results shine so brightly that no one can deny them, no one can ignore them, and no one can take them away. Not everyone who watches you is cheering for you, and not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you win. Some people quietly wait for your next move, not to celebrate it, but to copy it, criticize it, or sabotage it. When you share too much about your plans, You hand over the very blueprint of your vision to those who may use it against you. Enemies don't always reveal themselves openly. Sometimes they hide behind masks of friendship, curiosity, or interest, but their intentions are rooted in envy or fear. Protecting your blueprint means keeping your strategies, your steps, and your progress guarded until the results are undeniable. A blueprint is the foundation of any creation. It shows the structure, the path, and the process of bringing something into existence. If you reveal that too early, you make it easier for others to either dismantle your efforts or duplicate them before you've had the chance to finish. Building silently ensures that no one can interfere with your foundation. Your enemies cannot disrupt what they cannot see, and they cannot steal what they cannot access. By keeping your plans private, you hold the power of surprise, which is one of the strongest advantages you can have. Silence also prevents unnecessary distraction. When you keep your blueprint hidden, you reduce the noise of opinions, criticism, and doubt that often comes when too many people know your direction. Instead, you channel all your energy into execution, protecting the integrity of your work and staying aligned with your vision. Let your enemies see the finished product, not the process. Let them watch the outcome, not the preparation. By guarding your blueprint, you ensure that your progress is authentic, unshaken, and truly yours. Enemies cannot fight what they don't know, and they cannot weaken a plan that was never exposed. The element of mystery is your shield, and when the time is right, your results will be too strong to be denied, too complete to be copied, and too powerful to be stopped. There is a profound difference between talking about what you plan to do and showing what you have already accomplished. Intentions are fragile. They are still ideas, still untested, and still vulnerable to doubt, distraction, or discouragement. When you share your intentions too early, you expose them to opinions that can weaken your belief in them. People may criticize, misunderstand, or even secretly hope you fail, and suddenly the energy that should fuel your actions gets drained by unnecessary noise. That is why intentions are best kept private. They need protection until they have transformed into something solid. Victories, on the other hand, require no explanation. A result cannot be debated. It is proof that you had the discipline, patience, and persistence to follow through. When you share victories, you silence doubt and inspire belief, because results carry a weight that words never can. Victories speak a universal language. Whether big or small, they tell the world that you didn't just talk, you acted, and your effort paid off. Sharing your victories shows strength because it reflects work already done, not promises waiting to be fulfilled. By keeping intentions private and only revealing victories, you protect your momentum. You save yourself from wasting energy explaining what you will do and instead put that energy into actually doing it. This not only preserves your focus but also builds credibility, because people learn to associate you with action and results rather than empty talk. The world doesn't remember promises. It remembers achievements. When you share victories instead of intentions, you teach yourself patience, discipline, and the art of moving in silence. You let your results be your proof and your progress be your voice. And in the end, your victories become your most powerful message, one that no opinion, no doubt, and no criticism can ever take away. Peace is one of the most valuable assets you can ever own, yet it is also one of the easiest to lose if you are not intentional about protecting it. Every time you expose yourself to too many people, too many opinions, or too many distractions, you risk allowing chaos to invade your mind and drain your energy. Protecting your peace means setting boundaries, being selective with what you share, and limiting the access others have to your inner world. Not everyone deserves to know your thoughts, your struggles, or your plans, because not everyone will handle that knowledge with care. When you limit your exposure, you create a safe space where you can think clearly, focus deeply, and build steadily without unnecessary interruptions. Too much exposure invites judgment, envy, and negativity that can cloud your vision and shake your confidence. Protecting your peace doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means being wise about how much of yourself you reveal and to whom. It's about preserving your energy for the things that matter most instead of scattering it across endless conversations, explanations, and validations. Peace allows you to perform at your highest level. When your mind is calm and your emotions are steady, you make better decisions, you move with more clarity, and you stay committed to your path. Exposure to too many outside voices can disrupt that balance, leaving you reactive instead of proactive, drained instead of driven. By limiting exposure, you stay in control of your environment and maintain the strength to keep moving forward. Your peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation that supports your growth, your focus, and your resilience. Protect it fiercely. Limit your exposure not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because your peace is the environment where your success takes root and grows into something unstoppable. Discipline is not built in the spotlight. It is forged in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is watching. Secrecy provides the perfect environment for discipline to grow, because it removes the pressure of external validation and keeps the focus entirely on the work itself. When you practice discipline in silence, you rely on your own commitment rather than applause or recognition. This independence strengthens your willpower, teaching you to stay consistent even when motivation fades. In secrecy, every small habit, every repeated action, and every quiet effort compounds into results that no one sees until the transformation becomes undeniable. When you announce your every effort to others, you risk losing the purity of discipline. Talking about your routines, your sacrifices, or your commitments often creates a false sense of accomplishment, as though speaking about the work equals doing the work. Over time, this can weaken your consistency. Secrecy, however, forces you to prove your dedication not with words but with repetition. It removes the temptation to perform for approval and redirects your energy toward performing for progress. Discipline built in private is discipline that lasts because it is anchored in self-respect and personal responsibility. There is also freedom in secrecy. Without the constant gaze of others, you are free to fail, adjust, and learn without judgment. You don't have to explain missed steps or defend your process. You simply keep showing up, day after day, building strength in silence until your results become too powerful to ignore. The world may not see your sacrifices, but it will see the outcomes of those sacrifices, and that is all that matters. Discipline thrives when it is protected, nurtured, and practiced quietly. The less you talk about it, the stronger it becomes. In secrecy, discipline transforms from something you try to something you are, and once it reaches that level, it becomes unstoppable. The moment you begin talking about your plans, you open the door to critics who feel entitled to give their opinions, even when they have no understanding of your vision. Some will criticize out of envy, others out of fear, and many simply because it is easier to tear down than to build up. Talking invites these critics, giving them access to your ideas before they are strong enough to withstand judgment. Their words may not stop you completely, but they can slow you down, distract you, and plant unnecessary doubts that eat away at your confidence. Silence, however, avoids critics altogether. When you choose not to reveal your every move, you eliminate opportunities for negativity to take root. Silence keeps your energy protected and your focus intact, allowing you to work without the weight of outside opinions. Without critics hovering over your every step, you are free to make mistakes, learn, and adjust in peace. You do not need to defend yourself, explain yourself, or justify your actions. You simply act. That quiet determination builds strength far greater than any external validation could provide. Critics thrive on information. The less they know, the less they can attack. By moving in silence, you take away their power to discourage you. You also deny them the satisfaction of watching and waiting for your struggles. Instead, you present them with results, finished, undeniable, and far beyond their reach. By that time, their criticism no longer matters because your actions speak louder than their words ever could. Talking may feel good in the moment, as if sharing your vision brings you closer to achieving it. But in reality, it often exposes you to resistance you don't need. Silence ensures that your path remains yours, free from the noise of critics who were never meant to walk it with you. In silence, you find clarity, strength, and the freedom to build something without interference until the results are too strong for anyone to deny. A strong strategy is only as powerful as the secrecy that protects it. No matter how brilliant your ideas, how detailed your plans, or how ambitious your goals, if they are exposed too soon, you weaken their impact. Strategy thrives on timing and surprise. When others know your next move, they can prepare, interfere, or even sabotage your efforts before you've had the chance to execute. Sharing too much strips you of the advantage that comes with unpredictability, leaving you vulnerable to distractions, criticism, and competition that could have been avoided. Secrecy transforms strategy into strength. It allows you to move quietly, calculate carefully, and act decisively without the weight of outside eyes. In secrecy, you can adjust your approach, refine your tactics, and learn from small mistakes without judgment. The power of a strategy lies not only in its design, but also in its protection. A plan revealed is a plan exposed, and once exposed, it loses its sharpness. Keeping your moves private ensures that when you finally act, your execution is precise, unchallenged, and impactful. Consider how successful leaders, athletes, or innovators operate. They rarely announce their every step. They work behind the scenes, building momentum, guarding their strategies until they are ready to reveal results that cannot be ignored. This principle applies to every area of life, whether it's your career, personal growth, or dreams. Keeping your strategy quiet gives you the freedom to build without interference and the power to shock the world with results they never saw coming. Weakness comes from overexposure. When you reveal too much, you invite critics, competitors, and distractions into a space that should be reserved for focus and execution. Strength comes from knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. A strong strategy paired with secrecy becomes unstoppable because by the time it is revealed, it has already succeeded. Secrecy isn't about hiding, it's about protecting your vision until it is too strong to be touched, too complete to be undone, and too powerful to be ignored. Announcing your plans may feel empowering in the moment, but it often creates an illusion of progress that can weaken your drive. When you tell others what you intend to do, you gain a burst of validation and encouragement that tricks your mind into believing you've already achieved something. That false satisfaction steals the hunger that execution requires. Talking about your goals doesn't move you an inch closer to them. Only disciplined, consistent action does. Announcements create expectations, and expectations create pressure, while execution creates results that speak louder than any words ever could. Execution is where true transformation happens. It is in the late nights, the early mornings, and the countless repetitions that no one sees. It is in the sacrifices you make quietly, the discipline you uphold when it would be easier to quit, and the resilience you build by refusing to stop. Execution doesn't need applause or attention. It thrives in focus and persistence. By choosing to execute instead of announce, you conserve your energy for the work itself, ensuring that your progress is steady and real, not just imagined. Every announcement invites distraction, opinions, and sometimes even criticism. Once you speak, you open the door for others to weigh in on your path, whether they understand it or not. But when you stay silent and dedicate yourself to execution, you shut out the noise and move forward without interference. The satisfaction of announcing will fade quickly, but the fulfillment of executing will last a lifetime because it delivers proof, not promises. The world doesn't remember what you said you would do, it remembers what you actually did. Results inspire respect, and results cannot be denied. Don't waste your energy announcing, because announcements are temporary. Pour your energy into execution, because execution is permanent. It is the difference between being known for your words and being remembered for your actions. The most powerful moves are often the ones no one sees coming. Quiet moves carry a strength that doesn't need validation or recognition during the process, because the focus is entirely on building, improving, and perfecting behind the scenes. When you choose to move quietly, you protect your energy, your strategy, and your vision from unnecessary exposure. There is no need to announce every step or prove yourself before the results are ready. Quiet moves allow you to work in peace, to adapt without judgment, and to refine your efforts until they are strong enough to create undeniable impact. The beauty of quiet moves lies in the element of surprise. While others are distracted by noise, comparison, and talk, you're advancing silently, stacking progress brick by brick. Then, when the time is right, your results appear so suddenly and so powerfully that they cannot be ignored. Loud impacts are born from hidden discipline, the hours of practice no one witnessed, the sacrifices no one applauded, and the consistency no one tracked. This contrast between silent effort and visible achievement is what makes quiet moves so effective. Moving quietly also shields you from envy, criticism, and doubt. The fewer people who know your next step, the fewer chances they have to discourage you or interfere with your progress. Silence gives you ownership of your journey and protects your focus from outside influence. It ensures that your energy goes into action rather than defending or explaining yourself. Every quiet move compounds, building unstoppable momentum that eventually turns into outcomes far louder than any announcement could ever create. The world is full of people who talk about what they want to do, but very few who silently do it. Loud promises may capture attention for a moment, but loud results create a legacy. Quiet moves may go unnoticed at first, but when they mature, they shake the ground and command respect without a single word. Choosing to move quietly is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is understanding that the loudest impacts come from the work no one saw, the progress no one tracked, and the determination no one measured until success spoke for itself. Privacy is not just a personal preference. It is a shield that protects your energy, your vision, and your future. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, the ability to keep your life private is a form of strength. Privacy allows you to control the narrative of your own story instead of handing it over to others. It keeps your plans safe from unnecessary scrutiny, your progress safe from envy, and your dreams safe from doubt. When you learn to value privacy, you create a protective boundary around your life that keeps negativity out and focus in. Every time you share too much, you give others an opportunity to interfere with your journey. Some people may not support your goals, and others may even wish to see you fail. By keeping your life private, you prevent outside opinions from shaping your confidence or altering your path. Privacy gives you the freedom to grow without judgment, to experiment without ridicule, and to build without interruption. It is not about secrecy born from fear, it is about wisdom born from self-respect. Not everything needs to be displayed, and not everyone needs access to your inner world. Privacy also fuels peace of mind. When your moves are not exposed, you eliminate the noise of external validation and criticism. This peace allows you to think more clearly, work more intentionally, and stay committed to your vision without distraction. With privacy, your progress is yours alone until it is strong enough to speak for itself. It protects your mental space from comparison and your emotional energy from unnecessary battles. In silence, you gain clarity, and in clarity, you gain power. The most powerful people in history have understood the value of privacy. They did not reveal every step of their strategy. They revealed results once those results were undeniable. Privacy gives you the same advantage. It allows you to act strategically, to refine your methods, and to release your achievements only when they are ready to make an impact. In this way, privacy becomes your shield against premature exposure and your weapon for lasting success. Your private life is your fortress. Not everyone deserves to know what motivates you, what you are working toward, or how you are building your future. Protecting your privacy is protecting your power, because once your energy is scattered across too many conversations and explanations, it loses its strength. Guarding your privacy allows you to conserve that energy and direct it toward what matters most. Your shield of privacy is not a barrier to growth. It is the very foundation that allows growth to happen in its purest and most powerful form. Focus is one of the rarest and most valuable assets in a world full of distractions. Yet it is often the first thing people sacrifice when surrounded by constant noise. Noise can take many forms. It can be the chatter of other people's opinions, the endless pull of social media, or even the internal voice of self-doubt that never seems to quiet down. Wherever noise exists, clarity disappears. But when you intentionally remove the noise, you create a fertile ground where focus can grow strong and steady. Silence, both external and internal, becomes the soil in which concentration, creativity, and discipline thrive. Noise scatters your attention, pulling you in countless directions and diluting your energy until you feel exhausted yet unproductive. Every interruption, every unnecessary conversation, and every distraction steals a piece of your time and weakens your ability to stay aligned with your goals. When the noise is constant, your mind begins to operate in reaction mode, responding to everything around you instead of directing your energy with purpose. Focus, on the other hand, is built in the absence of this chaos. It requires you to intentionally shut out the unnecessary so you can pour all of your strength into what truly matters. Creating an environment free from noise doesn't just mean seeking silence in the literal sense. It also means setting boundaries, choosing wisely who you listen to, and filtering the information you allow into your life. It's about recognizing that not every voice deserves space in your mind, and not every distraction deserves your attention. Focus thrives when you protect your mind like sacred ground, allowing only what nourishes your growth to enter. By removing the clutter of noise, you allow your mind to sharpen like a blade, cutting through tasks with precision and purpose. In the absence of noise, your thoughts become clearer and your vision becomes stronger. You begin to hear your own inner voice without distortion, guiding you toward decisions that align with your values and long-term goals. Focus grows stronger with practice, and silence provides the perfect environment for that growth. Instead of scattering your energy in 100 directions, you learn to channel it into one powerful stream that drives progress forward. Noise weakens, but silence strengthens. The less you allow noise to dictate your time and thoughts, the more your focus expands and empowers you. It is in the quiet spaces that ideas are born, strategies are crafted, and dreams are transformed into reality. Protect your focus by eliminating noise, because where noise is absent, focus not only grows, it multiplies, guiding you toward levels of achievement that constant distraction could never allow. Success carries a power that no words can ever match. When you let success be your announcement, you free yourself from the need to prove, explain, or convince others of your potential. Results are undeniable. They cannot be argued with, ignored, or diminished, because they speak in a universal language that everyone understands. Announcing your plans may capture temporary attention, but when you achieve them in silence and reveal the outcome, the impact is permanent. Success, not promises, is what builds credibility, earns respect, and creates a legacy that lasts far beyond the moment. When you choose to let success be your announcement, you shift your focus entirely to execution. Instead of wasting energy telling people what you're going to do, you invest that energy into actually doing it. Words can inspire briefly, but action creates proof. Proof is what silences doubt, shuts down critics, and separates you from those who only talk about their goals but never bring them to life. The world doesn't remember intentions, it remembers achievements. Success becomes your voice, and it carries more weight than any explanation ever could. This approach also protects your vision. Announcing too much too soon invites opinions, criticisms, and sometimes even envy that can distract you or discourage you before you've had the chance to build momentum. But when you work quietly and let the results speak for themselves, no one can interfere with your process. They see only the finished product, not the struggles, setbacks, or adjustments along the way. Your journey remains yours, and your success stands as the only evidence that matters. There is also a deep sense of fulfillment that comes with proving yourself through results rather than words. Success creates a confidence that doesn't need validation because you know you've earned it through persistence and discipline. Every small win along the way builds into something undeniable, something that no critic can dismiss. By the time you reveal your success, it carries the weight of every sacrifice, every late night, and every moment of perseverance that brought it to life. Letting success be your announcement also makes your story more inspiring. People may not remember the speeches or promises you made, but they will never forget the day you proved them with action. The silence of preparation combined with the noise of achievement creates a contrast that commands attention. Success revealed at the right moment doesn't just surprise people. It inspires them because it shows what's possible when you focus more on building than talking. In the end, your results are your loudest announcement. They are the undeniable proof of your dedication, resilience, and vision. Speak less, execute more, and allow your success to do the talking. Because when success speaks, the world listens without question. Your vision is one of the most valuable treasures you carry, yet it is also one of the most fragile when exposed to the wrong audience. Not every ear deserves to hear your dreams, because not every person has the capacity to understand, support, or respect them. Some will judge, some will doubt, and some may even try to discourage you, not because your vision is impossible, but because it challenges their own limitations. Protecting your vision means being intentional about who you share it with and recognizing that silence often preserves strength better than explanation ever could. Every vision starts small, like a seed. At the beginning, it is vulnerable, easily crushed by negativity or overshadowed by doubt. If you plant that seed in the wrong soil, if you share your vision with those who cannot nurture it, it risks never growing into its full potential. Some ears are quick to dismiss, offering careless words that can weaken your confidence. Others may envy, disguising their discouragement as advice. When you reveal your vision to everyone, you invite all kinds of voices into the sacred space of your future, and not all of those voices are meant to be there. The truth is, some people cannot see beyond their own perspective. If they've never achieved something similar, they may project their limitations onto you. They might say it's impossible, too risky or unrealistic, not because it is, but because they cannot imagine themselves doing it. Sharing your vision with them becomes an open door for doubt to creep in, slowing your momentum. That is why discernment is key. Choosing carefully who hears your vision ensures that you surround yourself only with those who uplift and encourage, not those who weaken your drive. Keeping parts of your vision private doesn't mean you lack faith in it. It means you value it enough to protect it. Privacy allows your vision to grow quietly, away from unnecessary opinions, until it is strong enough to stand on its own. When it matures, it will no longer need convincing words to prove its worth. It will reveal itself through undeniable results. By then, the same people who doubted may finally see what you saw all along, but their late recognition will no longer matter, because your success will be the proof. Your vision deserves protection, not exposure to every passing ear. It is sacred, and only those who genuinely believe in you, who understand your heart, and who respect your path deserve to hear it. By guarding your vision wisely, you preserve the energy and clarity needed to bring it to life. Not every ear deserves your vision, because your vision is not meant to be consumed by doubt. It is meant to be fueled by faith, built in silence, and revealed in power. A plan holds its greatest strength in secrecy. The moment it is revealed too soon, it begins to lose its edge. Because exposure invites interference, judgment, and resistance. A plan is like a seed. When it is planted in the dark soil, it grows quietly, shielded from harsh elements, until it is strong enough to withstand them. But if you dig it up too early to show others, you disrupt its growth. The same is true with your ambitions. Revealing your plan before it matures leaves it vulnerable to opinions, criticism, and envy that can weaken your focus and drain your momentum. When you keep your plan private, you maintain control over your direction. Silence gives you the freedom to adjust, adapt, and evolve your strategy without external pressure. Once a plan is revealed, people may begin to expect results before you are ready, creating unnecessary stress. Others might doubt you, planting seeds of uncertainty that slowly chip away at your confidence. Some may even attempt to copy or sabotage your ideas, not because they are better prepared, but simply because they were given insight into your vision. A plan revealed too early becomes prey to forces that should never have access to it in the first place. The power of a plan lies not just in its design, but in its execution. Execution thrives in private, where there is room to fail, learn, and improve without an audience watching your every step. Every setback faced in silence becomes a lesson rather than a headline. Every adjustment made privately strengthens the foundation, ensuring that when the plan finally emerges, it is refined, resilient, and ready to withstand scrutiny. Keeping your plan hidden protects you from the noise of unnecessary opinions and the weight of premature expectations, allowing you to focus entirely on progress. Great leaders, innovators, and visionaries throughout history have understood this principle. They didn't broadcast every detail of their strategy. They revealed their results when those results were undeniable. The element of surprise gives a plan its power. When no one knows your next move, no one can prepare for it, interfere with it, or weaken it. By the time your plan is revealed, it is already too strong to be stopped, too advanced to be copied, and too complete to be undone. A plan revealed is a plan weakened because exposure strips it of the protection it needs while it's still developing. Silence, on the other hand, shields it until it's unshakable. Guard your plans, nurture them privately, and let the world see them only when they are finished and powerful enough to stand on their own. Your strength is not in how loudly you declare your intentions, but in how effectively you execute them in silence. The most powerful growth often happens where no one can see it. Roots grow underground, hidden from sight, yet they are the very foundation that gives trees the ability to stand tall, weather storms, and bear fruit. Without strong roots, even the most beautiful tree will collapse when pressure comes. The same truth applies to life, success, and personal growth. The unseen work you do, the sacrifices, the discipline, the resilience, becomes the root system that supports everything the world eventually sees. While people may admire the branches, the leaves, and the blossoms, it is the roots underground that make all of it possible. When you are building your dreams, the beginning often feels invisible. The hours of study, the long nights of practice, the moments of doubt you overcome, and the choices you make when no one is watching, these are your roots. They grow quietly, without recognition, but they create the strength that will carry you through challenges ahead. Too often, people want quick results, visible progress, and instant recognition, but growth that comes without roots is temporary. Just as a tree with shallow roots can be torn down by a strong wind, a life built without inner strength and foundation crumbles when tested by adversity. The underground stage of growth is the most important. It teaches patience, humility, and consistency. Roots don't grow overnight, they spread slowly and deeply, anchoring the tree into the earth. In the same way, your hidden work anchors you into your purpose. Every failure you learn from, every sacrifice you make, every quiet step forward when no one notices is another root strengthening your foundation. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree can rise. Without strong roots, growth upward is dangerous because it cannot last. True greatness requires depth before height. Storms are inevitable, Life will test you with setbacks, rejection, and unexpected challenges. Shallow roots cannot survive such storms, but strong ones hold firm. A person who has invested in building their roots, in discipline, resilience, and inner strength, may bend under pressure but will never break. The world often praises visible success but overlooks the hidden work behind it. What others call strength, discipline, or wisdom is simply the product of strong roots grown in silence and struggle. Roots also symbolize nourishment. A tree pulls its strength from the nutrients underground, feeding itself in ways unseen by the eye. In your life, the nourishment comes from learning, reflection, focus, and persistence. The books you read, the skills you build, the habits you strengthen, these are the nutrients that fuel your roots. You may not see the immediate impact, but over time, these hidden investments create a foundation so powerful that your growth becomes unstoppable. The strongest roots grow underground because true strength is always built in silence before it is revealed in brilliance. Do not be discouraged when your progress is not visible to others. The hidden stages are not wasted, they are necessary. Just as a tree cannot rush its roots, you cannot rush your foundation. Trust the process, keep feeding your roots, and understand that the deeper you grow underground, the higher you will eventually rise above it. Potential is one of the most valuable gifts a person can carry, yet it is also one of the easiest to waste. Potential represents what you could become, the greatness you are capable of achieving, and the future you have the power to build. But too often, people sacrifice that long-term greatness for the short-term rush of attention. Attention may feel good in the moment. It gives validation, applause, and recognition, but it doesn't last and it doesn't build. Trading potential for attention is like selling a diamond for a handful of coins. You gain something now, but you lose something far more valuable that could have transformed your entire life. Attention is fleeting, shallow, and often hollow. It relies on others to notice you, to approve of you, and to give you temporary satisfaction. Potential, on the other hand, is deep, powerful, and self-sustaining. It is not about being seen, it is about becoming. When you invest in your potential instead of chasing attention, you create skills, strength, and resilience that no one can take away from you. Potential matures into results, results build credibility, and credibility creates lasting respect. Attention disappears as quickly as it arrives, but the fruits of realized potential remain for a lifetime. When you chase attention, you often end up compromising your focus. Instead of putting energy into building, you waste it on appearances. Instead of working in silence, you seek applause for effort that isn't finished yet. The danger in this is that attention can trick you into feeling accomplished without actually accomplishing anything. It gives you a false sense of success while your real potential remains undeveloped. True fulfillment doesn't come from being seen, it comes from becoming everything you are capable of being. Protecting your potential requires discipline and patience. It means choosing growth over validation, substance over image, and consistency over recognition. The people who achieve greatness are rarely the ones who were loudest in the beginning. They are the ones who quietly invested in their craft until their results spoke louder than any words ever could. Attention seekers fade when the spotlight moves away, but those who honor their potential keep rising no matter who is watching, because their foundation is built on real progress, not performance for approval. Every moment you spend chasing attention is a moment you could have invested in your growth. Every ounce of energy used to impress others is energy taken away from building yourself. Ask yourself which will matter more 5 years from now. The applause of the crowd that barely remembers you, or the success that came from fulfilling your potential. The applause dies, but the impact of realized potential continues to shape your life and the lives of others. Don't trade potential for attention, because attention is temporary, but potential is timeless. Attention can make you feel important today, but potential, when realized, makes you significant forever. Protect your potential by nurturing it quietly, feeding it daily, and trusting that when the time is right, the world will see what you have built. Let your results be the source of attention, not your hunger for validation, and you will never regret the exchange. Greatness is rarely born in noise. It grows in silence, nurtured by focus, discipline, and an unshakable commitment to a vision. Silence becomes the companion of greatness because it allows the mind to think deeply, the heart to stay centered, and the spirit to stay resilient in the face of distraction. In silence, you hear your own voice clearly without the distortion of outside opinions. In silence, you make choices not for applause but for progress. Noise demands attention, but silence builds intention. The greatest achievements in history were not crafted under the glare of constant chatter. They were formed in moments of quiet dedication that no one else witnessed. Silence is powerful because it preserves energy. When you are not wasting words explaining, defending, or announcing your every move, you redirect that energy into action. Talking about your goals may give temporary satisfaction, but it is in the silence of consistent work that dreams transform into reality. Silence shields you from unnecessary doubt and keeps your vision pure, untouched by the envy or skepticism of others. It gives you space to refine your craft, strengthen your character, and lay foundations so deep that when the world finally notices, your greatness cannot be shaken. Greatness demands solitude. It requires the ability to withdraw from distractions, to spend hours building in private when no one is watching, and to sacrifice the comfort of being seen for the satisfaction of being prepared. Silence teaches patience, because progress in silence does not bring immediate applause. Yet it is precisely that patience which allows greatness to grow steadily, rooted in strength rather than speed. The tallest mountains are formed over centuries in silence, just as the strongest individuals are shaped by unseen struggles and unspoken discipline. Silence is also a shield against vulnerability. The more you share prematurely, the more you invite doubt, criticism, and interference. But when you keep your journey guarded in silence, you protect it until it is strong enough to withstand outside forces. By the time you reveal your results, they are undeniable, leaving no space for argument. This is the silent power of greatness. It does not need to justify itself, because the results speak for themselves. Those who embrace silence as their companion are not running from the world. They are preparing to meet it with strength. They understand that greatness is not about being the loudest in the room, but about being the most prepared when the moment comes. Silence gives you control over your narrative, allowing you to decide when and how your greatness is revealed. It transforms your focus from performance to purpose, ensuring that every effort contributes to the larger vision rather than the fleeting desire for recognition. In the end, silence is not emptiness, it is creation. It is the space where greatness takes shape, shielded from noise, free from judgment, and strengthened by discipline. To walk with silence as your companion is to walk with clarity, resilience, and power. It is the quiet path that leads to loud results, the invisible work that leads to undeniable impact, and the humble patience that leads to lasting greatness. The most powerful achievements are created in silence and revealed in triumph. To build quietly is to protect your vision while it is still fragile, to nurture your goals without the weight of unnecessary eyes, and to move forward without the distractions of approval or doubt. Quiet building is not about secrecy for the sake of hiding. It is about creating an environment where focus thrives, where energy is preserved, and where progress is steady and uninterrupted. When you work quietly, you give yourself the freedom to grow at your own pace, to make mistakes in private, and to adjust your path without interference. The temptation to announce every step can be strong because recognition feels rewarding in the moment. Yet, talking about progress before it is solid often weakens momentum. Words can create an illusion of achievement, making you feel accomplished without actually completing the work. Building quietly, on the other hand, ensures that your energy is invested in execution rather than presentation. Every quiet effort, every hidden sacrifice, and every unseen hour of discipline compounds into a foundation so strong that by the time you reach your goal, the results speak louder than any promise ever could. To celebrate loudly is not about showing off, it is about honoring the journey that brought you there. Loud celebration becomes powerful when it is backed by undeniable results. The joy of success is amplified when others see the outcome without having heard every detail of the process. It surprises them, inspires them, and commands respect because it proves that discipline, patience, and consistency win in the end. Your loud celebration becomes a symbol not just of your victory, but of the unseen effort that made it possible. Building quietly also shields you from negativity. Not everyone deserves to know your vision, because not everyone can understand it. When you reveal your progress too soon, you invite opinions that can plant doubt, criticism that can discourage you, and envy that can create unnecessary obstacles. Silence, however, protects your growth. It keeps your dreams safe from those who might misuse them and allows you to move with clarity and confidence. By the time you choose to celebrate, your success is already too strong to be undermined. The combination of quiet building and loud celebration creates balance. You remain humble during the process, focused on the work itself rather than the recognition, but you also allow yourself the joy of acknowledgement once the work is done. This balance keeps you disciplined yet motivated, patient yet passionate. It reminds you that the journey is for you, but the victory can inspire others. Loud celebration after quiet effort is not arrogance. It is gratitude, a way of honoring both your persistence and the lessons learned along the way. When you build quietly, you guard your energy, preserve your vision, and strengthen your foundation. When you celebrate loudly, you share the fulfillment of achievement and the inspiration of possibility. Together, they form a powerful rhythm of life. Humble preparation followed by undeniable impact. Build in silence, but let your results echo so loudly that they cannot be ignored. For that is the true harmony of greatness. Every step you take toward your goals shapes the life you are building, and that is why your next move is more important than it may seem. Your next move carries the weight of your intentions, your sacrifices, and your vision for the future. It is not just a decision. It is a seed that, once planted, will grow into outcomes that define your path. To protect your next move is to protect your future, because every action you take today becomes the foundation of the life you will live tomorrow. Exposing your next move too soon places that foundation in danger, leaving it open to doubt, interference, or even sabotage. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to the direction you are heading. Some people may not understand your vision, others may not support it, and a few may even hope to see you fail. Sharing your next move with the wrong people invites opinions that can cloud your judgment and distractions that can weaken your focus. When you protect your next move, you maintain control over your momentum. You allow yourself the freedom to refine, adjust, and act without the burden of outside voices. By the time your move is revealed, it is no longer vulnerable. It is already executed and strong enough to stand on its own. Protecting your next move is also about discipline. It requires resisting the temptation to announce everything you are working on, seeking validation before you have results. Talking can give the illusion of progress, but real growth happens only through action. Every word you speak about your plans drains energy from execution, while every moment of silence channels that energy into building something real. Protecting your next move keeps you hungry, focused, and disciplined enough to turn potential into reality. Your future depends not on what you say you will do, but on what you actually do. Protecting your next move ensures that your energy is invested in the process, not wasted in premature recognition. It gives you time to learn from mistakes privately, to adjust strategies without judgment, and to grow without interference. The world does not need to see every detail of your journey. It needs to see the undeniable results of your perseverance. Silence in the planning stage creates strength in the execution stage, and that strength becomes the security of your future. Think of your next move as the key to unlocking the life you want. If you hand that key to everyone, you risk losing control of the door it opens. But if you guard it, nurture it, and use it wisely, you unlock opportunities that others cannot touch. Your next move is not just about today, it is about the ripple effect it creates for years to come. Every decision, every step, and every action is a building block of your future. Protecting it ensures that your future is shaped by your vision, not distorted by the noise of others. Your next move is precious, and so is your future. Keep it safe, keep it quiet, and let it unfold only when it is ready. The strength of tomorrow lies in the protection you give to today's choices, and the discipline you show in guarding the direction of your life. Every chapter of this journey has been a reminder that silence, focus, and discipline are not signs of weakness but of strength. To move with intention, to guard your vision, and to protect your next move is to respect the power of your future. Success does not come from loud declarations or constant validation. It comes from quiet persistence, private progress, and the courage to act when no one is watching. The world rewards results, not promises, and your story will be told through what you build, not what you announce. You have learned that noise scatters while silence sharpens, that envy grows where dreams are revealed, but power multiplies in secrecy, that critics fade when you refuse to give them a blueprint, and that the deepest roots of greatness grow in unseen places. You now understand that protecting your vision is not only about avoiding doubt, but about creating space for your discipline to thrive and your focus to expand. Let your actions be the language of your ambition. Let your results be the proof of your persistence. Build in private, shine in public, and remember that every move you protect today becomes the foundation of the life you will celebrate tomorrow. The future belongs to those who guard their vision, move with strategy, and allow success, not words, to announce their greatness. This is your reminder. Never share your next move, because your future is far too important to be left unprotected.